Today I was looking at break statements. This was the example that they showed and the printout. I modified the code to see the limitations of the break statement. I was wondering if the break statement was called, it would exit out of the loop it was in, or all the loops it was in. This was the printout of the code. Let me break this down for you why it's printing out all the numbers from 0 to 9. It first goes to main, declares all of its variables. Run can be forgotten in this example. Goes to the first while loop, checks the statement, goes to the second, checks that statement. Since they're the same, they will exit the while loop at the same time. Then it goes to the print, then I++, then to the if statement, then to the break. Since the print line function is called before the break, it will print out all the integers of I, which means the break function only breaks out of the while loop it's currently in, and not all the while loops it was in. I tested another way of putting it. I put an if statement before the second while loop. If I is equivalent to 10, it will print break. The print line smiley face is there to show that it will exit out of the loop that it's in. Here's the printout. Since the break statement is before the print line smiley face, it will not be executed, and instead it exits the while loop. I also tried putting a break statement inside of a function. It threw an error. It said break statements are only allowed inside a loop. This was the only way I got it to work. But then this got me thinking, what if I just put it inside the if statement brackets? It worked. Then I tried to put it in a while loop brackets. That also worked. It does not work inside a print line brackets. It throws an error. Then I tried assigning the break statement to a variable. I tried this in many configurations. None of them worked. I even tried assigning a variable to null and then reassigning that variable to break, or even trying to add it or equal the break statement. The break statement can only be used inside of a loop, and that goes for any loop, whether that's a while loop, for loop, and other loops like that. It cannot be used outside of the loop. The same thing is complied with the continue statement. The only difference is the statement breaks one iteration in the loop if a specified condition occurs and continues with the next iteration in the loop, which means that it will skip everything that's below it but does not break the loop. So the loop will continue going and looping the processes until the statement is false. Okay, moving on. Array function. I'm going to be making this very brief because there's only one thing I want to point out. I'm going to be formatting the array function like so, and not like the top example, even though that they're exactly the same. The thing I wanted to point out is the difference between multiple list string function and array function. The only difference I found was that you were able to use the add function for the multiple list string, but for array, it doesn't work. There are more in-depth differences between these two functions that I will be displaying on screen for you to read. I hope you enjoyed that little excursion of things that I thought was interesting and things that I didn't know about. I'll continue looking for other things that pique my interest.